Are you ready to transform lovely paper into something really fun and shakety shake? I am really excited to share with you this project that you all have been buzzing about. You are the requesters of this video today. So do you remember this little shaker present that I teased? It was a couple videos back, so I'll link that in here if you'd like to be able to go back and watch that again. So yes, this is a brand new die from ScrapbookCom, and it is called Present Shaker. And I made this one a couple weeks ago because I was in the pink. I was in the throes of pink. And so here's what this is in the pink. And let me just unpack this one. Rather, I should say, let me unwrap this one just for a moment, because I want you to know the dynamics of how this came to pass. So with this particular make, remember a couple weeks ago, we were making really simple inky backgrounds. Well, I took this background to be the background to this, plus the window. And really, this particular one is really subtle. And then I took Sizzix shaker pieces and I filled the inside of this, and there's even hearts in there, so it's perfect for Valentine's Day as well. It's perfect for any time, as you're going to see. And then I embellished the front, and we're going to talk more about that. And then I also took some of this roses paper to add in the extra embellishments and that bow as well. So let's unpack this, and we're going to make this today because you asked for it. Now you got it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull in here a couple of items that I already have pre-prepped. Some things are prepped, some things are not quite so. Okay, so as you saw here, maybe I should keep this here on the side as a little reference point. So as you can see here, I'm basically using, in this one, just 2 pieces of paper. So one of the things I thought was really great about this particular make was the use of double-sided paper. So I wanted to change this up, and now that all thoughts are exceedingly turning to spring, because it's been a long, cold winter, friends, let me tell you. I grabbed this Grove paper from 49 and Market. It's a beautiful double-sided, as are all of their papers, and it has this kind of intense yellowish green, and it has this beautiful pattern in the back. And so I'm using this today. And then, yeah, that's the only paper I'm going to actually use with this today, as you will see. So a couple of the things I have here that if you want to play along, I'd love for you to do that, but you might need the shaker die first. So this is what this looks like. This is the present shaker. There are 5 pieces to this die set, and a couple of these pieces you actually cut twice. You could even actually cut the bow twice, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, and one more thing. Let's say you're not a fan of shakers. Okay, then don't add the elevated piece or the acetate window, and then you can have just a regular present that would be great as a gift tag. It's so fun as a gift tag. I'm gonna have to make this for my granddaughter. Her birthday is this week. Or on the front of a card, or on a tag, a regular like size 8 tag or something like that. So, or even this would be great duplicating these elements on a scrapbook page. So I just want to show that we can make a shaker, or we can make a normal present. But who wants a normal present? I'm like, we're not here for normal presents, people. We're here to shake things up. And so I want to straighten my camera out here for a minute. Okay, so here's what I've done. To start and craft together this particular project, we're going to need to die cut some paper. I have some pieces here already. So let me just walk through what we need to do to put all these pieces together. So first and foremost, you need the backer part of your shaker. So I've already cut my backer, and it comes from the largest square die in the set. Okay, you can see that is exactly that size. Okay, so just gonna set this aside again because I don't need it quite yet. Okay, so far we're using the large, and then we're going to need to cut a second piece out of the largest die in the set. I cut the same exact size out. I'm sorry, I cut the same exact paper out, the same pattern paper. That's just how I wanted to go for it. And so let's just do that for now. If you're playing along at home, just cut 2 pieces of the same paper from the large die. Okay, then next, with the smaller die, we're going to cut out a window from the second piece that we cut. So we're going to do that right now. So I'm just taking that second piece of the large window and laying that right. It's going to kind of fit right inside, just barely inside of the little emboss part that you will see when you're actually cutting this. Okay? You might want to use a magnetic cutting pad, or you might want to use a little bit of tape to put that in place. Ooh, that made some fun noise. Okay. So now you can see we have ourselves a window. Okay? Perfect, right? You need to set this aside, or you could use this for your inside pieces or for your embellishing pieces. Okay, so next we need to grab this large size again and a piece of acetate, because this is a shaker. So we're going to need some acetate, of course. And I'm just going to line this up against my die. I'm going to kind of use it like a template. And I'm just going to trim right around it. Kind of a quick, fast, in a hurry way to go about this. So what I will do here is just test this and make sure I don't need to trim anything off. And it needs just a little bit more here on this side. So just take your time to do this, and that way you're going to have a perfect window for all that is happening here on this shaker. Okay, so now we need to adhere this acetate to the back of our shaker window. So we're going to do that by using just a bead of glue all the way around here. I'm just going to kind of get this started. And now the rule of thumb for this is less is more. Okay, don't get too goopy with glue. You're not going to like that. So I'm hardly even squeezing out this bottle at all. Now, of course, use your glue of choice. I just happen to be using the Smart Glue here from ScrapbookCom. And then I am going to gently, carefully lay my acetate right to the back. Oh, she got a little crazy there. Right to the back of my pocket. And I still might need to trim this up. But I am going to then let this, I'm going to let it dry. All right, so that's just got to kind of sit there. So let's talk about some other things why we're letting that set up for a minute, because we're going to need to continue with that piece right there. Okay, we're going to get to a point here in the show where we're going to want to embellish the front. So you see here, I have the ribbon that is from the die set already. And I'm also going to be scuffing it up pretty good. I'll be using, this is a, I think it's Ranger. I think it's a Ranger disc. She's looking. She has it right here. Okay. Yeah, it's distress sanding disc. And then I attached it to one of ScrapbookCom's foam blend holder guys. It's just does that. It just Velcros right on. So we're going to be scuffing that up. And then I'm also going to, I have some Prima ribbon here. I'm going to need to cut it down real skinny though. You're going to see how that works though, because trust me, it works. And because in this one, I added a piece of ribbon. I just don't have anything to complement except for this Prima. So this is again where I just make the things that I already have work. Okay, you can see on here too, we've got some scrunchy paper. So we're going to scrunchy up some paper. For this one, I added this Hooray for You, but we're going to change this one up a little bit. I have some other cuts here, and these are from the bouquet picks that are brand new as well. And so you can see what they actually look like here. We have love, we have a snowflake, we have mom, star, happy birthday, a bat, congrats, a rabbit, an XO, and a joy. And I cut out a couple because I didn't really know what I was going to be using yet. And so, with that in mind, I have them at the ready. And we're going to find a way to, I don't know, make them work in here. Maybe with the bow and probably just like that, maybe. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Layers, more layers, people. That's what's happening here. Okay, so that's the direction we're going in. So I'm going to check what we have happening here. And ooh, it's stuck to my weight. Okay, so now at this point, I need to adhere. I'm going to use 1/8 adhesive foam to the back of my window frame. Now, this is a product from ScrapbookCom as well. If you have been around even for 1 minute, you see me utilizing this particular adhesive all the time, and especially with shakers. This one here in particular is the 3mm. So it's 3mm in height. I like to use the extra thick one, like this one, because I want to make sure my shakety bits have plenty of room to do just that, to shake. All right, so let's talk about shaker bits while I'm going around and adding in my adhesive. I'm using these shaker sequins. They are white or clear. They might even be called clear. Yeah, I don't see a color on them. They're very iridescent, so they kind of pick up color. A lot of times I think about what would I use if I didn't have shaker sequins, or if I didn't have beads or whatnot. And I think I want to get another piece here. I think it would be fun, I talked about this before, to die cut shaker elements, or to use a border die to make shaker elements, to use paper punch to make shaker elements. It doesn't have to be sequins. It doesn't have to be sparkly. It could be paper. I even thought about, we have, ScrapbookCom rather has the metallic paper. I thought that could be really cool for adding as shaker bits as well. So again, this is going to be like a broken record here. I used what I had. This is what I had besides pink. You saw me with the pink. So we're just making the best of what we have. All right, so we've added the 1/8 adhesive foam to the back of the window frame. It's a frame, James. It's called a frame. Now I'm going to try a little trick here. I don't use this often. This is an anti-static tool, and so it's just got this little powder here in the bottom. I'm just going to add just a really little swipe of it to help my shaker bits not stick to the acetate window. And then here's another part that I'm never really sure about. How much shaker bits do we add? I mean, I didn't think this was a bad amount at all, because you still have some volume, even if it's, you want to see it actually in the screen, here you go, because you still got some volume, even if it's just laying flat. Maybe that's the trick, to have enough sequin elements in here so that even if it's laying flat on the table, you can still see them. So we're gonna go crazy here. We're just gonna add a few more here. Okay, so this is the part of the show now where you have to be super careful pulling off the backer to the adhesive. Okay, and then I think you can figure out what we're doing next, right? We're gonna pull this off, and then we're gonna add in the backer part of the shaker. Doing two things at once here, and I did something I shouldn't have done there. I full on put my fingers. This is what I'd rather do. I'd rather just hold this down with this so it doesn't move, but I'm not getting my fingers stuck in the adhesive all at the same time. All right, we got that off, and then I'm just going to now pop that as best I can, making sure I've got all the parts covered here on the back. All right, so just give me a second here as I line this up. I'm kind of using my other fingers around this to make sure this is on here just as evenly as possible. So we place the backer down onto our foam adhesive, and we have shaker bits Look at us go. How great is that? And yeah, I think that's enough because it still fills the bottom up. We got a couple sticking here at the top. I think the color's really pretty. It's just sweet and soft. Okay, so now let's work on our embellishments. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull this back in here. I am looking for my sanding disc. And I'm just gonna grab a scrap piece of paper here because I don't like to sand against my work space mat. Okay, and I'm just gonna go over this a little bit. I love this green. I just want to take a little bit of it off. I don't know why I like that look. You don't have to. This is purely an optional little bit of business here. And I realized too, I might need to grab some foam adhesive, but I haven't quite decided yet. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in place on my shaker. So it's just gonna go, I'm trying to have it so that it's just about as to the top of this as it can be. Oops, there's no lid on there. Da, da, da. Okay, and then take this sweet little bow here and place it right about there. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. While that is drying, we're definitely gonna set that to the side. Let's make these little tiny paper crimpy things. You got a better name for that? I'm grabbing my ruler here as well as a craft knife. I'm gonna just come down here and cut these at about maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch. And I don't need a whole bunch of them actually. It looks like, what's fun about this technique is it looks like there's a bunch on there, but there's really not. Okay, I'm gonna get 4 total. Okay, and there might be a real professional way to do this. If there is, I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna show you my way. All right. I don't think that cut all the way through. There we go. All right, let's get our tools out of the way and keep our workspace clear here. I'm gonna fold that, and I'm gonna just keep folding it. That's all I'm gonna do with this, okay? And it's gonna get to this place here where it's not very easy to fold, and that's okay. Okay. And then I'm going to open it back up, and this paper that I'm using is much thicker than the paper I used for this. So I'm going to go in here and now I'm just going to fold it down on itself. I think that's going to work better. It just didn't take the fold very well. So I came across this idea. It wasn't original to me by any means. I mean, you can go to the craft store and you can find bags of crimped paper that you can definitely use, which is how I came about this in the first place. I was at an event and they just had all these dishes of things to put together on a tag. It really was the beginning of the whole revolution for me for clusters. I mean, we're talking well over a decade ago. And I fell madly in love with the idea. I still have that tag today. I should bring it out sometime and share it with you. And you're going to say, that's no big deal. it's just a big deal to me. You know how that is. You know how it is when you've made something or you have something or you got a memory built into a craft that you did one time. No one else cares but you. And that's okay. Nobody else has to. I literally will unearth that tag on occasion and just be like, I totally remember this moment. I totally remember how thrilled I was to be in this making place with bowls and bowls of embellishing items. It made me happy then. It makes me happy now. And that's really all these things have to be for us, right? Now, I do hope you would make something like this and then give it and share it with a friend, which mine is going to my granddaughter for her 3-year birthday. And yes, I know, she's 3. People, she's 3 years old. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, literally, it's all downhill from here, right? I'm just trying to get these creases started. Now, to all my friends out there who love to watch your shows, your movies, your series, this is a perfect thing to do. I could actually do this and watch at the same time. I just want you to know I do have talent. So that would be my talent. I could crimp paper and watch a movie at the same time. Okay, I'm going with 3 for right now, just for the sake of time. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to grab my... I was going to grab my hot glue, but I'm not going to grab my hot glue because it's not plugged in. That never happens, but it happened right now. Okay, so what you're going to do here is just set this into the glue. Okay. You're going to have to kind of manipulate it a little bit. You're going to kind of have to mash it a little bit. But this is basically, you're just building this up with the glue. You can tuck that in here. Grabbing my pick because I love my pick for all the things. That's perfect. That's perfect. And you can do the same thing. Here, let's turn this way. Okay, let's do it again. We're going to add glue right in there. We're going to just tuck it up in there. We're going to give a pause here and let this dry because this needs to dry fairly decently before we finish everything else. Okay, I'm going to add a dab of hot glue to this and just cover this up for now. That glue is getting into place nicely. We have our little paper crimpies. I think it's so cute. It's just another little added thing, right? I mean, go look at the picture on the website of the shaker and it's super cute. I mean, totally catches your attention. But then when you play around with it a little bit and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I can do more stuff. Yes, you can always do more stuff. That is just one of the things I just love about paper crafts. I mean, there is like this truly kind of magical little ability that we can take. This started like this and we have that, that. Ta-da! I get giddy. Sometimes I forget how giddy I can get about this. And then I dig into a project and I'm like, dang, this is just so fun. So I rolled up this sheer fabric ribbon from Prima and I'm just cutting about a little bit, not quite a 1/2 inch wide piece of trim. And then from this, I'm going to make our bow. I'm also going to hot glue the bow on, okay? Are you guys okay with that? And I had another idea. So remember earlier I showed you, here, look at these while I'm doing this bow, these bouquet picks. And I cut several up. But then I decided I want to use the love, but I went ahead and used the second side of the paper, and so it's a little bit lighter than that other green. So I just this is another thing too. I just really want to emphasize this. You can make these over and over again. Just find some pattern papers that you just are really enjoying, and that's all you have to do. We've done this all out of one piece of paper. It is a 1-page wonder, as they say out there in the making world. And so we didn't use the entire page. I mean, you could use double-sided 6x8 paper, right? It doesn't have to be 12x12. It's just what I had. Okay. Just trying to get my bows in place here. Sometimes it takes me a moment. And don't want my loops to be too big. You could also do another paper bow on this. You could do a second of the bow here and just pop it up with foam adhesive. That would be a great look too. So I hope you get the idea of just how many different things we can do here with this die. I mean, on the onset, you look at it and like, oh, that's cool. No, it's awesome how many things we can make with it. So let's challenge ourselves to do just that. Okay, so I took the love, like I told you, and I did it from the other side of the paper. So I'm going to pop it up about right there with a little dot of hot glue. Okay, and these picks are so fun. You can just kind of set them wherever you want. It's going to be super fun in some bouquets. I cannot wait to make this spring as we start moving into some more springy makes for those of us in the northern hem. I'm going to also add, let me test this. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to add just a dot of the hot glue, and then I'm covering where everything kind of comes together there. And that's how this one turned out with the green. And same but different, okay? I think it's so fun. I think someone would love to receive this. And it's when the paper, the craft, the project becomes the present. So be sure and check out the links that I provided for you in the description. Let me know in the comments if this is something you'd make. See you next time.